Welcome. Welcome to Sandee Beyond Limitations. Tapping into the unknown to make it known. The most scary part, kind of taking that first leap into the unknown. It's only energy. It just wants to serve. You want to give it a command? Let it be so. Well, I'm here to attune myself to the creative impulse that dwells and seeks to move in through me and as me to bring to you a little bit more of the unknown. Let's make it so. Welcome. Hi, Marcus.
Hello, grand day. And yeah, welcome. Welcome to everybody to this edition and episode of Ascending Beyond Limitations. And I'm Marcus Christolight, and we are here with Sandee M, SoulAwakening with Sandra. And we are officially now live on both of our Instagrams as well as both of our YouTube channels. So you guys can now tap in live on Sacred Light Healing and Wellness on YouTube, as well as SoulAwakening with Sandra. And then on our Instagram, Sacred Light 33 and SoulAwakening with Sandra. Thank you to all of you that have been here since episode 1, continuing to stay loyal and dedicated to this journey of exploring the raw material together. And thank you to you, Sandee, for continuing this journey with me as well, as it has been a tremendously humbling, enlightening, and very deeply remembering journey. That's for sure.
Truly. Let me get rid of that. I had to move something. I am truly honored to be part of this. This has been actually a calling of mine, thinking about how I was going to do it on a different project. And then the divine saying, well, no, that's not quite the way I wanted you to do it. And actually going from being a host on a podcast to being, as you said, co-hosts with each other on this journey. And understand this, everyone, that the Book of Ra, like Marcus and I were just talking this morning, it's 5 books. It's 5 books. That's a lot of information that entity shared with us. And it's volumes of wisdom and understanding for you to take at your leisure. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not everything is going to fit your puzzle piece. Why? Because we're all individually, uniquely authentic in this journey. And what our higher beings have come to learn is intricately set for you and your journey. And guess what? In the middle of it, your higher being will say, I'm kind of done feeling this feeling. What do you think about that? And if you don't tune in, if you don't tap in and have a conversation with your higher being, you could be continuing a feeling or an emotion that your higher being is done with. And your higher being is, for lack of a better term, a term that we know in our human language, a gentleman is not going to usurp your free will to keep doing what you're doing. Even though it's done feeling whatever polarity energy it's felt. If that polarity is lack and it's felt enough of that lack, then, and it's sending you this information somehow, and you're just kind of ignoring it or pushing it back or layering it down, guess what? We have to take responsibility for us. Our higher being is tethered to the divine, that which you call Almighty God or the Matrix or illusion or awareness or any of those. And it can only do what you want it to do. It can only say, yes, let it be so. Let thy will be done. God's will is your will because your will was given to you by God. And for lack of a better label, God says, I'm giving you the keys, baby. Where do you want to use them? Which door do you want to put them in? And matter of fact, I'm giving you infinite doors. So you get to choose. And then the divine says, I'm going to speak to you in any communication mode that you create. Movies, TV, music, poetry, art, work. Yeah, work. You communicate with your bosses and the owners of companies. You communicate with people when you go to the grocery store. You communicate with people when you're online trying to pay your bill. These are I'm telling you, the divine is communicating with you. Are you listening? Not on the surface, but intuitively. That's what you have your third eye for. Yeah, intuitively. Are you listening? Are you saying, ooh, I read between that line. I heard something uniquely different. And let me tap into that. Right? So here comes Ra. It took Ra. He came on the scene. This memory complex came on the scene 1,000 years ago. He gave this information. He gave all this information, but the information got distorted, and one person wanted to use it for their gain. So they had to leave the planet. The first time they ever stepped on the planet in form, the first time they've ever walked among humankind, and gave them the keys to the fucking kingdom, right? Yes, the divine gave us the keys and wanted to communicate to us. And with our free will, yes, the pharaohs had free will. They wanted to use it for only their gain. So Ra, that memory complex head, gotta go. They're not ready. But guess what? This memory complex didn't leave our quantum field. They stayed in their motor home that we call a flying saucer. Because they knew that they'd have to come back on the scene, but they decided they weren't going to step on it again. They decided they were going to communicate a different way. What? Infinite possibilities. Where there is a will, there is always a way. And out of this communication, out of this channeling, came 5 books. If I'm vibrating from all parts of my body, everything is just vibrating all at once. Now we've got Abraham Hicks, we've got Bashar, right? And we've got everyone on here that is speaking light language for the collective and for humanity. And we've got those who are speaking it for themselves, regardless of sharing it with others. The divine wants you to know that the divine knows that there are others that are pretending to speak light language so that they can be seen. And the divine doesn't pretend. Either you receive it or you don't. Channeling is the divine's way of speaking to all. So let's get ready. Let's deep dive into the unknown and make some more unknown known to us. Back to you, Marcus.
Back to me. Well said. Well said. Thank you for that. So as we are going to continue on our journey and get into the raw material, I wanted to give us a little short recap on the last episode. As last episode, we connected with and tapped into another one of the channels, another one of the ways and forms that the creator, the source, likes to deliver messages as well. And that was from divine being Haton. And we were given these beautiful messages and channelings that taken place some odd years ago in this earth plane. And wow, were they powerful. Were they powerful. So I'll go ahead and pull up just a short recap of the last episode for you guys, so you guys can get caught up on what the latest was that we spoke on when it came to these forms, these beings that came together to deliver a channel message as Haton. All righty.
Off on the mission. What is spiritual development? It is the process of maturing. The process of maturing. The process of analyzing everything that you are aware of in a true and unbiased sense. In order to do this, one must be able to recognize truth. It is only possible for one to communicate the absolute base for truth, which is ever present throughout the universe. This communication is accomplished primarily through the technique of meditation. There is a separation of maturity into they go hand in hand, and one generates the other. However, it is not necessary to acquire intellectual maturity in order to acquire spiritual maturity. It is, however, necessary to acquire spiritual maturity. We evaluate concepts without a true spiritual basis. There are three more things which I would like to.
It's some people you guys call yourselves viruses and scourges, but you don't see the glory and the beauty that I see within you for myself to move through and feel form. What a wonderful experience I'm having. All right. Are you excited?
That was just a short, little brief recap, you guys.
Hatnan said,
Uh-oh.
I am here because it is our desire. There are memory complexes. Hatnan is a planetary oneness. The whole planet ascended as oneness, which is the hope of the divine for us. And they said, it is our desire to serve. To serve. Just as Ra is a social memory complex entity, and they are here to serve. And this is Hatnan Part 2, and then some more. So back to you, Marcus.
I'd like to take a moment for all of us to allow ourselves to go inward for a moment. And as we go inward, we're just going to become still. Take a couple of breaths. And just allow ourselves to feel the pure connection that we have to the energy within us, to the consciousness that is flowing through us, and to this being that we are residing and experiencing through. So if you may, get comfortable. Relax the shoulders, relax the body. Relax the jaw and the teeth. Relax those fingers and toes. And we're going to take a few deep breaths. Breathing through the nose, expanding the stomach, and then drawing that breath all the way down the body and out of the mouth. Continuing to breathe through the nose. Down to the earth and out of the mouth. Continue this breath pattern a couple more times. And as you do so, allow yourself to feel the energy inside of you, to feel the electric through your system, to feel the nerves running through your body. As you breathe, feeling the blood flowing through your veins, feeling your tissues repairing, regenerating on its own, feeling your muscles relaxing and strengthening. Every breath supporting this regeneration with your body and your whole being. Feeling the bones cleansing. Feeling the skin regenerating, reversing age. Yeah, so and then as you continue to breathe, beginning to feel a misting or fountain-like waterfall of golden energy just beginning to fall down from above, just misting and glycering over the body and the being, just coating us in this golden mist. Almost like a nice replenishing mist of water. And it coats our whole being in this soft, elegant, watery energy. Then it coats our skin, coats our aura. Golden light shining through me. Yes, I can feel the divine with me. Destiny, what is it? Is it set to be? Or do I orchestrate it with my harmonic melody. Be here now so you can know all of the answers that you need to know. So now it's time to flow. Ukatiata umushikiata sutu apa ushiana tieta ushikita umianayata ushikianta usuruba shikia tutuata imeka yukutu ishimikia. Go ahead and take one more big old deep breath. And allow yourself to feel uplifted. Allow yourself to feel the joy. Allow yourself to smile. Laugh if you want. Allow yourself to move. Release that breath.
Shianotoku u shanataki etuna tiana te kieda shianotoku u tianatai epoku ate ete mahaleki kianotoku a keshonta ia shianotoku u te me te 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 ungai. Listen with your inner ear. Take what resonates. I am your voice, you are my voice. I speak what you speak. I move when you move. I see what you see. I know what you know. Are you ready for more? Ashe. Are you ready to flow? Because flowing in the unknown, whoosh, flowing in the unknown, letting go of gravity, letting your higher being play with you, holding your hand as it takes you everywhere. That's what understanding and wisdom is. It's everywhere, all at once and not at once, and you get to flow in it, you get to fly in it. You don't need a Superman suit. You don't. You got that suit within you. Magnificent suit. Are you ready? Are you ready for a little bit more of Hatnon? I'll remind you of what Hatnon said. He said, we, as this collective fourth density beingness, said we are attempting to do this in such a way that the seeking of the individual will be stimulated to turning his thinking inward. The individual will be stimulated to turning his thinking inward to the single source of love and understanding, the Creator. That is part of us all, part of everything that exists. For everything that exists, my friends, is the Creator. Guess what? Everything that exists, and you exist, you are the Creator. Understanding the unknown is understanding the Creator. stepping out into the infinite, beyond your borders and your boundaries, into the Creator, is what the Creator wanted. What the Creator desires. The Creator moves in, through, and as me, Sandee. And then when this whole story is over, when body, mind, and inner being is separated in the story, the inner being that is tethered to the divineness of the Creator says, this was us as Sandee. And the divine says, and let it be so. Not it was good, not it was bad, not it was difficult, or any of those. Those are left to the physical form, because those, the higher polarities and the lower polarities, are our compass and our guidelines. Hanan says, for this is a very great time, a great transitional period in which many of the earth's people will be raised from their state of confusion to a simple understanding. It's the love of their Creator. That's why Hanan came. That's why this complex Creator came. Yes, I called Hanan the Creator because it's the all. It's the all. It's the law of one. Everything and nothing, all at the same time. Multidimensional beings, all at the same time. The multidimensional beings came to talk to the multidimensional beings that are in or on this earth grid right now. Why? So that we can become social complexes as well. Yeah. So for me, number one, when I figured out that it wasn't just about me having a free will and doing this human story, I found out that my higher being had a free will choice that it got to make, being on the moving up the polarity back to merge back with the divineness, right? And either it could choose to play in the positive polarity, which is service to all and to self, because if it's service to all, then you're serving self selflessly, or the negative polarity, only serving self at the cost of others. When I found that out, I wanted to say to my higher being, how can I serve you? What can I show you? Because my higher being had to access the higher polarity and the lower polarity to have a story that it could choose from. And yes, it can choose. And yes, some higher beings choose the lower polarities. And by the fifth and the sixth density, they have to merge back with the higher polarity of love, unconditional love, to merge back with the divine. So usually if they want to stick with the lower polarity, they turn right back around and come back to third density. But most of them, this blew my mind, most of them did not choose to come back in form because they could be recognized by the oneness of love that flowed in the polarity of our beingness that chose the higher polarity, that chose the polarity of service to all, the one unconditional love. Blew my mind that what happens is they decide that they want to be a part of their density, so they become our consciousness of our situations, our circumstances, and they become the things that we believe, even if it's negative. So hence the example, what we left off with. If you believe in the devil and you believe it's evil, then that is going to be your devil, that consciousness. And that's the perfect place for it because it resides in the negative polarity. I was blown away. This is why Hatnan and Ra and Bashar and Abraham have all come online as the divine feeding through them to feed to us, right? Hatnan speaks of our desire to seek something outside of the physical illusion. What he talks about so persuasively is something that is often referred to by members of what Ra calls the Confederation of Planets in the service to the infinite creator as original thought. This is another term for our word, which we simplify it. We just say love, but it's unconditional love. No matter what happens, you love unconditionally. You may not like something, but you still love the higher being and that form body that is having that story. You may not like that story. And here's the thing. Once you decide that you don't like a story, you get to opt out of it and play somewhere else. They go on to say, but implies a great deal more. It implies a unity that is so great that we do not see each other simply as close friends or brothers or sisters, but ideally as the creator. I see Marcus as the creator. I see everybody that is tuning in on Instagram and YouTube as the creator. I might not like the story that the creator is portraying. I may want to opt out of it, but I still unconditionally love that aspect of the creator. And as we see each other and ourselves as the creator, we see one being. This concept is at the very heart of telepathy. And Hatnan talks about this concept and the original thought in general. And then literally there's stuff to talk about. Back to you, Marcus. That was making me whoosh. Yes, California is hot today, but no, that was from an internal outward. Welcome to the unknown. I'm just saying, welcome to the unknown. Wow.
You know, I'm still trying to ground myself after that meditation. Wow. You know, I've had some deep realizations lately. Not even just realizations, but just like conversations as well about just like how truly blessed and just how diverse and expansive this life really is. And like, wow, you know, the contrast. Like, I was just thinking about it yesterday with a good friend of mine. And, you know, we went to Kings Island, an amusement park out here in Ohio. And just really like reflecting on the contrast of like, you know, there's a day where you can go spend time at an amusement park all day and just like really be, you know, in your imagination, in your inner child, and just really be in a place where nothing truly matters other than having fun and just expressing yourself. And then you have like, you know, these other spaces where it's like, you know, you go work your job or you go show up for something that's like really, I guess you can say, quote unquote, serious, so to say. And then you have things like, you know, being extra spiritual and connected with nature. And then you have the contrast of like tribes out there that have never even fathomed or never even came close to an amusement park or thinking of an amusement park. It's just like, that contrast and expansiveness of how diverse this world really is and how we can experience it in so many ways at our own free will is just so truly amazing. Like when you really sit there and be present and just really think for a moment, like, look at what's all around me. Look at this body that I have. Look at this voice that I get to use every day at my own will. Like, look at all these different choices I have and all of these different things that I've even created myself or that I'm experiencing from somebody else creating. It's amazing. And then to truly be able to experience these things with multiple different versions of ourselves together through different perspectives at once, and to also experience another person's body, you know, their eyes, their voice, their talents, their gifts. I can continue to find words for it, but there are no words.
Sometimes
It's just
no words.
all it is.
And it just is, right? It's just being, right? Because what you said about, hey, we can go and we can play all day at a theme park, or go all day and play in our backyard. Whereas there are tribes who have never seen a theme park or a roller coaster, but their joy is hanging from a vine and dropping into a lake that's nearby them, or running through a field of flowers, or sitting and listening to their storyteller tell the story of their ancients, or many other things that are part of the joy of the law of one. We're all one, having this extremely intimate story with the divine creator, all at once and not at once. Really, when you think about it, the divine is the no thing and the something, and it's all at once. The divine hasn't set it up, but for us, who is learning to become a memory complex, a social memory complex, like Ra, like Hatnan, like Abraham Hicks. Yes, Abraham Hicks is a social complex. There are many of them speaking through Esther all at once. Bashar, and many others. Some of you, I know for me, there are many. I know for me that when I'm speaking, I'm not here in this body. You may see my mouth moving. You may see my body reacting, but for some places I'm in a council. For some place I'm on the mountaintop on a totally different celestial body. But can you imagine if all of us, all 8 billion of us right now, I could close my eyes and imagine all 8 billion of us becoming social memory complexes all at once, being the divine. And when I finally get it, when you say, what's my purpose here? Now I finally get it. I mean, my purpose is to have a physical story for the divine. My purpose is for my higher being to have a choice and make a choice and be that vehicle for my higher being. But my purpose is to become part of a social memory complex for the greater good of the creator that I am. Blew my mind. I don't know about yours. I don't know if you can sit, if you truly have opened yourself up to that can blow your mind. And then you truly understand what multidimensional being is.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Right? We've said that many times, but blows my mind. Now I get it. Now every freaking cell in my body is exploding.
Mm.
Now I understand why sometimes I don't feel my feet touch the ground when I'm walking.
Uh-oh.
And that my puppy Whoppy grounds me by holding on to his leash and pulling me back down, saying, "Come back down, Sandra."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hold
So
on.
Hatnan talks about the concept and the original thought like this. Hatnan says, "At this time, I am in a craft far above your dwelling. I am at this time able to monitor your thoughts." He says it right out. He says, "Look, I got to let you know, I can't go against your free will. I'm in your thoughts. This is how I'm speaking to you telepathically. This, my friend, might seem to some of your people to be an infringement, right? Because you've heard that. Oh, aliens are reading my mind. They need to get out. They need to get out. Oh, this is, they're trying to take me over. No, they're trying to let you know the possibilities, the infinite possibilities of how you can grow and expand." Hatnan says, "But I can assure you that it is not. Our capabilities of knowing the thinking of the peoples of this planet Earth are not designed in any ways to infringe upon either your thinking or your activity." They're not trying to tell you how to think. They're showing you wisdom and information, then you get to think it. You can react to it, or you can have right action with it. But they're not telling you how to think. They're just giving you an infinite possibility. Hatnan says, "We do not consider the knowledge of the thoughts of others to be an infringement, for we see these thoughts as our own. We see these thoughts as the thoughts of the Creator." The Creator is moving in, through, and as your thought. The Creator doesn't say it's right or wrong. The Creator just says, "Oh, okay, that's an infinite possibility. Let's keep feeling it or thinking it." We want to make the Creator responsible for our bad thoughts. We do as humanity. We've been taught that. We've been taught that for centuries upon centuries. And here the divine wants me to say, once again, upon centuries. It's longer than you even know it, and it's written in our DNA. We are taught that when things go wrong, find somebody else, look over there, and find somebody else to blame. Hatnan says, "My friends, it may seem to you that a thought of a nature other than one love and brotherhood might be a thought generated not of our Creator. This is not possible." Hence the thought that somebody could have awful thoughts and do heinous things, that they don't have a higher being. They do have a higher being or a soul. They just choose, with those heinous thoughts, choose to layer down and push back the higher being. That's all. And your higher being, for lack of a better term, is a gentleman. It's going to say, "Let it be so." Right? Hatnan says, "All things that are generated by the Creator. The Creator is in everything, negative and positive. It's feeling, and it's being activated by you. It's just having, it's feeling tangible or form. Because remember, the divine is formless. You were created for this purpose. Hatnan says, the creator is all things and is in all places and all of the consciousnesses and all of the thoughts that exist in the thought of the creator. Everywhere, in every universe, in every galaxy, and every universe that is still growing and expanding, the creator is there. Blows your mind, huh? Hatnan says, the creator, the infinite, the creator's infinite numbers of all parts, all have free will, and all may generate in any way they choose. All of the creator's parts communicate with all of the creation in the creator's entire and infinite sense. So you could separate yourself from an alien or an extraterrestrial, but they just come from a portion of the divine's beingness. They are not separate from the divine. They can have a separate thought or a separate intention, yes, and they certainly can have the intention to learn about Earth, why Earth is set aside. What we believe Earth consciousness is set aside in this lonely galaxy with the stars and the sun and the moon, but we're not interconnected with other galaxies. We think we're separate, but we're not. And we've been visited because we're part of the wholeness. We're part of the, what, as you want to call it, the collective. But your term collective makes you the divine. Okay, I'll say it. I've been fighting it. The divine has said that we turn the word collective to mean we're higher than others. When we pray only for the collective, we think we're better than others. Readdress that. Open yourselves up from your heart space, that the collective is supposed to pray for the all. Hold space for the all. Because it's the law of one. All is one. Back to you. Back to you, Marcus.
Jeez, peace. Oof. You keep hitting me with the back to you, Marcus, after like 5 mic drops in a row.
Whoa. Like it, Hatnan was like, drop the mic. Matter of fact, Hatnan was going, I got both mics.
Oh, wow.
Like, drop the mic.
Yeah, like just went ahead and picked up the whole entire auditorium. Wow.
Oh my God.
This is getting really fun now. This is getting really fun because this is where we get really, really into our detached space and a really fun and creative perspective of what we are now. And I want to take you guys on a journey a little bit, a visualization of this description. So I want you to kind of think about yourself and think about yourself as basically this, this energy body, this soul, so to say. And you're kind of like sitting down and think of yourself in the perspective of when you're playing a video game. And when you're playing that video game, you're designing your character, you're designing your avatar that you want to go through and experience as in that video game. So now think of that, but then think of it as our actuality. and you as a soul sitting on that couch designing your video game avatar. But instead of it being a video game avatar, it's your human avatar in this third dimensional reality that we're in. And then from there, you kind of assimilate that character through the DNA and other things like that. You know, even the little notches of being born to this degree, according to this constellation, and all the other stuff. And then it all just assembles together. All these different characteristics, all these alignments, and different things that you put together as pieces of your character. And then that character then gets birthed and born through the womb of a mother into this world. And then that's similar to how basically now you've assembled your video game character, and now it digitalizes or it fractalizes into the video game. Now you're able to walk as that character, you're able to experience as him. And it requires different things, you know? You go on different missions, you go on different trainings in order to gain special skills and special abilities and things like that. And pretty much, you know, if we can find ways to have a similar type of mindset to this as we're going through our everyday life, we can access spaces within ourselves where we're a little bit more detached, and with that detachment comes a little bit more of our higher self to be able to flow through and to be able to anchor into our human reality due to the nature of our vibration and our mind being opened enough to allowing that frequency to be able to be received and integrated. And you know, when we really step back and enter that observer mode, so to say, and we see the abundance of what it is that we're in and how eternal it is as well. When we step into that remembrance and through that perspective of, you know, the soul level or that video game character creator, then we're able to really remember and also be in that state of the eternalness. Because if we're perceiving from that level instead of just the human level, we're not really concerned or really viewing things as, you know, life and death, or being worried about, you know, what's coming next, or if we're going to be able to make it and survive and things of that nature. So with that, there's a lot of things that can come with that, especially for your health and well-being, your mental health, your emotional health, as well as your physical. So, you know, this is why I dedicate myself to continuing to be in spaces like this and to teach and hold spaces for these type of messages, reminders, and codes to be passed. Because number one, it's timeless, and so timeless that thousands and thousands of years ago, our ancestors were talking about these very own topics about what humans are and our relationship in this world. And we're reading it today, thousands of years later. I mean, it really shows you what these laws of one really represent and what it can be for our everyday well-being in life. So, perspective for everybody. Back to you.
Yes. Yes. Perspective. Right. So, I'm going to go. And this is just, I've just got book 2. Right. And the divine guided me to a page. And one of the hashtags that Sir Marcus uses is called Know Thyself. So this is the questioner. This is what they're asking. I would like to ask for the same type of information with respect to Adolf Hitler. We all know Adolf Hitler. Let's not use any judgment. Let's be awakened. Just let's wake up and be open to this information. You have given little of this already. It is not necessary for you to recover what you've already given. Could you please complete the information? And we're going to go through reading book 2, but this is to get to a point. Ra says, I am Ra. I am speaking of, in speaking of the one you call Adolf, we have some difficulty due to the intense amount of confusion present in this entity's life patterns, as well as the great confusion which greets any discussion of this entity. Okay, and in it, more people were confused because Adolf Hitler, when he merged back with, he was able to merge back with the divine. The consciousness that was Adolf Hitler kind of sort of went to heaven. And they were confused about that because Adolf Hitler, the form body, did so much damage in form. How was he ever going to get back to, how was he going to go to heaven? Right? Okay, that's what Ra is speaking of. Ra says, here we see an example of one who is in attempting to activation of the highest rays of energy while lacking the green ray. Green ray is your heart chakra. Okay, so he wants to use the higher energies. He doesn't want to go through root chakra, through the sacral chakra, through the solar plexus chakra, through the heart chakra, and up. He wants to skip the heart chakra, which combines the 3 upper chakras, that energy, your energy portals, and the 3 lower energy portals. And your energy is culminating and coming from the heart chakra. Everything is turning counterclockwise. That's your creative center. That's what you're using your energy from. Even if your energy is coming from your hands, the energy is coming from that central system. Hitler wanted to bypass that. That's what we just lost. Okay. Go back to you.
Okay. Is this a good spot to pause?
Okay.
Okay. So just for everybody out there on the YouTube side, Instagram only goes for an hour. So we're going to take a moment to reconnect with Instagram. It'll take us literally like a minute, and then we will continue where we left off.
Okay. And all I have to do is refresh Instagram and go get my stream key and do a little bit of something, a little bit of energy magic, and we'll be back.
That's it. All right, we are back. We are back for part 2 of episode 7. We are back on IG, and thank you to all of you on YouTube that have been patient and staying with us.
All right. Just getting it going, keeping it in flow. So we were talking about, I know. We were talking about Hitler, and in the raw, in this raw material, they also talk about Genghis Khan, and they talk about a couple of others, right? Okay. And this is the higher being choosing and kind of flowing in the lower polarities. And Hitler was one of them. Hitler didn't want to do things from the heart space, the heart chakra. Hitler wanted to bypass that. Okay? So Ra is saying that here I will reread the first one. Hold on a second. Okay. Here we see an example of one who, they're talking about Hitler, in attempting activation of the highest ray of energy while I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to take a moment and slow my roll. The divine always tells me slow my roll. So here we go. Here we see an example of the one, comma, in attempting activation of the highest rays of energy while lacking the green ray key, canceled itself out as far as polarization, either towards positive or negative. This entity was basically negative. However, its confusion was such that the personality disintegrated, thus leaving the mind-body-spirit complex unharvestable and much in need of healing. So actually, everybody thought that Hitler was acting crazy, but he deemed himself a dictator. And he was so powerful in that. His intention and his energy created that. But he created that not being in alignment with the green ray or the heart chakra. Okay, so Ra is explaining this. The entity followed the patterns of negative polarization, which suggests the elite and the enslaved. This being seen by the entity to be of a helpful nature for the societal structure. However, in drifting from the consciousness polarization into what you may call a twilight world where dream took the place of events in your space-time continuum, the entity failed in its attempt to serve the creator in a harvestable degree along the path of service to self. So it couldn't get to the polarity of affirmation, of positivity. It couldn't get there. It didn't say that the divine didn't still feel it, but the divine wanted to service to all is service to self. And the negative polarity is where Hitler fell into. Doesn't mean the divine did not, the divine kept the story going. Yes, because that's what free will is. That's why a lot of people, that's why you see your governments playing both sides of the spectrum of control. It's not just the the Republicans wanting to control. It's not just the Democrats wanting to control. They're playing both sides, because why? They want to feel the negative polarity. Those are the choices that they chose. The divine just says, your wish is my command, right? Okay, so Ra goes on to say, thus we see the so-called insanity which may often arise when an entity attempts to polarize more quickly than experience may be integrated. So when they want to jump, it's kind of like climbing stairs, and people skip stairs, and then when they skip those stairs, sometimes they have to go back down because they skipped some important parts and shit fell apart, right? Or they took a stumble and they had to go back. Now, some go back and they go, oh, I have to incorporate this, or I have to incorporate that. And some just keep skipping the stairs. Think of those stairs as being the backs of other people that don't gain anything, but that one self gains all, at the cost of others, at the cost of situations, at the cost of circumstances, at the cost of what we look at and go, oh, the world's going to shit in a handbasket. Right? This is what Ra is saying. Ra goes on to say, we have advised and suggested caution and patience in previous communications, and do so again, using this entity as an example of the over hasty opening of polarization without due attention to the synthesized and integrated mind-body-spirit complex. We're mind-body-spirit complexes. We haven't got become a social complex. Okay, Ra says, here it is. To know yourself is to have the foundation upon firm ground. Know thyself. That's how you can acclimate. That's how you can assimilate and acclimate. And that's how you can anchor. Know thyself. Find out what you're skipping. If you're skipping stairs, you were given 7 chakras for a reason. Those are your energy portals. You were given them for a reason. You were born with them. They're your birthright. They go wherever you go. You were given the polarity of positive and the polarity of negative for a reason. They help you have contrast in your story, your journey. They're your compass. They're your guidance system. I thought, all right, divine, thank you very much. Here we are. This is why we are doing this raw material. For us to know ourselves, gain information and wisdom about us, to go deep within us. Our deepness is the deepness of the unknown. To make known more of ourselves, to grow and expand, to utilize all of our chakras, to be in tune and integrated and aligned with the one true creator of the all and the nothing, all at once. Multi-dimensional beings. Back to you, Marcus.
Boom. Back to me.
Back to you.
Wowzers. So wonderful. So I see over here in the comments on your side, we got a Sydney Kayla. Not sure if you may know her. It sounds like she's probably a regular in your spaces, but she said,
Yeah.
Love you so much, Queen. Ashe. With some hearts and some love.
Thank you so much. It's like wisdom and understanding. I'm going to tell you, it just blows my mind. There is a inner vibration that gets me really hot and bothered because I want to do more with it. And sometimes I have to be patient enough for the divine to tell me what more they want me to do with it. And this was it.
Yeah.
Ascending beyond limitations. You can go beyond whatever somebody has told you you can't. Ask yourself, go on an inward journey and ask your higher being, can I? Wait for the answer. And your higher being is going to, if it's for your highest and greatest good, and you are in alignment with your higher being is going to say, why not? If it's for your highest and greatest good. And your higher being is going to say, I'm going to step out of that comfort zone with you. I read the book, The Dream Giver. The Dream Giver is just another name for the creator. You were born with an infinite amount of dreams. Whether you call them big or little, those dreams take you outside your comfort zone. Those dreams take you into the abyss of you. Mm-hmm. And the only one that's afraid of going in the abyss is that system, that's energy, that's called your ego. But call your ego you. Your ego has a name. It doesn't, for me, my ego doesn't have a different name than me. My ego has the name of Sandra. It just wants me to be its personality instead of me having it as my commentary on what it should be giving me. What's on the outside that I have to think about, the information, my outside world that it's bringing into me, that my higher being is coming into connection with, and that we as a triunion being, multidimensional being, is saying, what do I want to do next? Who do I want to be in this next moment? How do I want to flow? Where do I want to flow to? How much of the flow do I want to use right now? And do I want to judge the situation or circumstance or the people or the conversations, or do I want to discern it and take it to another level? And sometimes the bothered part is the stepping out into the unknown. That is, I finally got it. That's that bothered part is now it's that movement of being scared into excitable. I'm excited because my other leg is crossing over that, straddling that boundary. And I'm about to jump. Taking a nosedive. Think of it as being on the biggest iceberg at the tip, and you thinking that you are on the mass of everything. That, ooh, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this. I've done it all, and wow, your higher being is saying, okay, we did that. Now dive. And you look at it for a minute, and your higher being says, I'm with you, Sandee. Go ahead and dive. And I just step off. I don't even bother about doing a dive like a swimmer. I just step and release. Mm-hmm. And as I dive, I start to see how massive that iceberg is underneath. In wonderment. I'm still in a deep dive. I told the divine, I said, yeah, okay, I'll dive. Unbeknownst how deep it was, and I'm still there. But every time I go, you know how they have divers who tell you they go in increments, and they have how far they go and how much oxygen they still have left. That's where I am. There used to be a time that I didn't believe that the Egyptian information, the thousand years of the Egypt and Ra and all of this. I came from Baptist background into a born again Christian background, and truly Christians. It was all Bible, and that's it. So for me, it's a deep dive. For you, it's something else. What is Ra saying to you that's going to be your resonance? What are you resonating with? That's you. Marcus and I, we can't say this is where you should be. Where are you as you're taking in this information and it's vibrating with you? Have you just started to open up and going, oh, I really do. Oh, wow, I really do have a higher being. I thought Sandra was talking a bunch of shit. Right? It's okay. If that's where you are, it's okay. Because maybe for a while through your ego, I was talking a bunch of shit. But if I had just one alignment with you, I'm so happy and grateful for that. Right? Just very interesting. Very, very interesting. So back to Hatanon. Shall we go back there? Hatanon says, we are not attempting to change the thinking of our Creator. We are only attempting to bring his idea to some of the more isolated parts of their inspection and appraisal. That they're not trying to change the story of the Creator. They're trying to give information and wisdom so that the Creator called you opens up with has more information to have a more thorough journey. Right? Hatanon says, isolated parts, I say, my friends, and why should we consider these parts to be isolated? We consider them isolated because from our point of view, they have chosen to wander far from the concept that we have found to permeate most of the parts of the creation with which we are familiar. Now they're saying, hey, we've been there, done that. And we're familiar with it. And we can see how you strayed. But here we're going to give you wisdom and understanding and information so that you can choose to use it or not. They've come to help. They came because they were called. And get this. They stepped on the earth in form 11,000 years ago, left, but they stayed in the quantum field in their homestead. We can call them their trailer vehicle, right? And their outer space vehicle. And they watched and they listened. Then they came back because why? They were called. They chose a different method to contact us so that our free will wouldn't be interfered with and our story wouldn't be interfered with. And they gave us information and wisdom so that we could choose to use it or not. Right? Then Hatanon says, we find, comma, my friends, comma, that man upon planet Earth in his experiences and experiments has become isolated in his thinking, but it's our thinking. Hey, women, don't separate yourself out. This is just terminology that Hatanon was using at that point in time with the person that he was channeling through. Okay, got that? His thinking, isolated in his thinking and has divorced it from that which we are accustomed in this vast reaches of creation which we have experienced. He used the word divorce. We divorced ourselves from it. We said, done. At some point, we chose not to use our Blu-ray, our heart chakra, and we decided we're just going to think about it. We're not going to think about it in one love, in the power of one, or the law of one, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to harness that, but we're going to be thinkers, and we're going to be take action, or no, reaction, and that's what we're going to do. And in that, we divorced ourselves from the higher being. We put a layer on it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Hatnan says, I urge you, my friends, to remember what we have brought to you. The next time that you are, shall we say, backed into a corner by the circumstances which prevail within the illusion of your physical existence, remember what you have learned and do not forget what you have worked on so hard to obtain. You choose at any time to alter your needs and your desires from within the physical illusion to your being within the Creator. You choose it. It's free will. You can choose to be only in your form, and you can go, oh, I believe only in what I see. And if I don't see it, I don't believe it. But energy is believing it before you see it. Intention, embodiment, and then creation. He also, Hatnan also they also say, as long as your objective lie within your physical illusion, it will be necessary for you to be subject to the laws which prevail within the illusion. So yeah, you're going to be subject to the laws of the land. But guess what? The laws of creation, the law of manifestation, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the law of unconditional love, they are all still creating. Because they're listening to you as you are in awe of the law of the land. And they're creating from that. Right? If your desires can be altered by the application of what you are learning and are lifted in the creation of the one infinite, or the infinite one, then my friends, you may have a great deal more ability to remove yourself from the corners into which the illusion has seemed to back you in. So here's a thought. You figured out, you have many, many people telling you this is all an illusion. And they spend a lot of time telling you on what's illusion. But what do you do with that after they told you? After they backed you in to a corner with fearing illusion, and your ego says, let's run. Because that's what the ego does when it wants to protect you. Let's run. Let's get outside of this illusion. Let's get outside of the matrix. But that's only fear. So the fear of the matrix and the fear of the illusion has backed you into a corner. What are you going to do? Because the laws of the universe are still operable. They never stop operating. So if you are in fear, the laws operate in that fear. And underneath the fear are bullet points called lack, envy, malice, jealousy. Those are bullet points. Those are, fear is the sickness. And then you have the symptoms of the fear. It backed you into a corner. Now what are you going to do? That is an embodying question. I'll leave it there. Back to you, Marcus.
It's wow. It's really interesting, especially like when it says like the depth of what we're in and like what we can do. And the depth is so vast that, wow. It makes me feel really grateful to be able to be in this existence and to be able to be present right now in this plane, this world, however you'd like to call it. And I just really, all I can really wish for is for people to be able to access in whatever way organically for them, to be able to access this remembrance of some sort and really allow themselves to have fun, really allow themselves to explore with it. I know there's some very serious times that life is being taken as by quite a bit of us here on this planet. But all these things that we're serious about, they really they contribute just as well as anything else. Anything that's not serious or funny or just a joke or childish or playful, it all contributes in a similar manner, but a different degree. And when we can find a little bit of fun with what we're going through, it really helps open that heart. It really helps us remember that, I came into this reality, I came into this existence knowing that I'm going to go through ups and downs. I'm going to go through all these different scenarios that are experiences, that are temporary, that come and go. And with that, I won't always have these experiences in the unique way that it's being experienced now. So what can I make the most of? What can I really do to optimize this time and space that I'm in reality and experiencing? And that's the way I really have been thinking a lot more in my life, especially with just a lot of close calls, such as like almost being shot in my apartment in January through the wall, which was like a very interesting experience. Yeah, long story short was I was laying on my couch, and I live in a place where there's no violence really. There's not really anything like that going on. And I was watching a football game, and I was like falling asleep on the couch. And then next thing I know, through the door or through the wall in the kitchen, a bullet went through it. And the bullet was probably maybe 3 feet from where my head would be if I was to get up. And yeah, it was a clear shot. Like went through the wall, went into the other wall, directly across from it. the wild part is I didn't even realize it was a gunshot or a bullet until the morning, because I went to sleep and I was just like not really thinking twice about that, because I thought it was just like a firecracker or firework or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, I saw those holes, and then I got examined and everything, and that's what it turned out to be. So it kind of like really made me think a little differently about things, especially because
Right.
number one, I could have just been sitting up on the couch all the way and it would have hit my head. And number two, I could have just been walking in the aisleway right there, which is like the main aisleway of the whole entire apartment, and I could have been hit in the head as well. So it really made me think a little differently. But the reason why I bring that up is because it's those kind of experiences that really bring me into these states and bring me into these places with myself where I become even more present and even more in the moment of, oh wow, in this realm that we're in, nothing is truly guaranteed, because everything is subject to change and everything is a temporary experience here. So with that being said, I could have literally, if I was about 3 feet upwards, could have just been gone from this plane. And that would have just been it. There would have been no more of any of the stuff that I'm doing or the things that I've been putting my dedication into and helping with others. And I was just like, wow, okay. It's it is that that close of a tightrope that we walk in this realm. And just really grateful to be here today, and grateful to be able to continue to share these spaces and continue to do what I do here in this realm.
We're grateful for you being here. I'm just saying, it's like, see, we've got, when you give your number one, your higher being, because it flows in through and as you, but number two, you come into this existence with all that is the divine, and you could call it your general peeps, or you could call it your angels. But these consciousness come in to help us. These higher beings come in to help us. And they could be, yes, they could be higher beings from different planets and different whatnot. And yes, they're walking and moving in a dimensional realm that's outside of our reference points of actually seeing, but they're here. Once you give them permission to act on your behalf, to help you gain those things that are for your highest and greatest good, to protect you while you're in this existence for however many years you want to live. I say 140 plus one, right? And I have people laugh at me. Why would you want to live 140 years? Well, that's the number that came to me. That's the number that I sat with my higher being, and that's the number that we were in alignment with. For whatever reason, my higher being wants to go that distance. I'm going to say, yay, all right, because I want it to be that I am of sound mind and sound body, physically fit to be able to do it and do whatever my higher being wants to do. And I see living in a story that accommodates me and probably others in my stories living to be 140 plus one. That's my story. That's what the higher beingnesses that surround me know that I want them to interact with. So anybody in that story can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And they will be in the story for however long they are in the story, based on what their intention is for themselves. I can't change their story. I can't change sister or brother or mother or father or best friend or co-worker or any of their stories. They're in it as long as they want to be in the story with me in whatever place they sit, because guess what? I wrote the story. And guess who I am? I am the creator. I am an expression of the creator. Guess who you are? You're an expression of the creator. Marcus is an expression of the creator, and we're glad that that expression is here right now at this time to keep the story going. Because guess what? As far as we know, he didn't verbally opt out of the story. That's why he was laying on the couch when that happened. The bullet that came through his wall was from somebody else's story. And he wasn't part of it. He wasn't a main character in it. He was just filler. He was the extra. When you start thinking in these parameters, you can write your story. You can be the writer, the director, the lead. You can even be, because we're all one, you can be the extra, the featured extra, the day players. You can be them all, expressing as someone else. That just blows my freaking mind. The levels that Ra and Hatnan and Bashar and God, I'm trying to think of the other name, but it's not coming to me. But are trying to let us know within this wisdom and understanding. And guess what? You get to believe it and allow it and be in alignment with it. And you don't have to pull anybody else with you. If you're called to serve them, you're called to hand them a seed, not plant it for them. But if you want to plant it for them, go ahead. If you want to make sure that you put it in their soil, go ahead. But don't be upset when they kick it out of the soil, when they don't tend to the soil and feed it, or when the harvest starts to grow and they chop it down before it's fully harvested. Don't be upset at that, because they are an expression of the story. They can decide when they don't want to do it anymore, or when they want to opt out of your story. And guess what? Let them. If somebody wants to opt out of their story and they don't want to tell you, what is that called? Oh, I don't like when people just don't talk to me anymore, and they diss me, or they don't text me back. What is that term that you guys call it? That's part of the story. If they don't feel comfortable talking to you and telling you that they don't want to be part of the story anymore, they don't want to be part of the relationship, they don't feel that way about you, and they just want to up and leave, let them. You are the creator. You can feel that person, that placeholder with a new expression of someone in the story. Make sure that when you're feeling it with the expression of someone that is for your highest and greatest good. We've been told that we've got to chase after people who don't want to be in our story. And we've got to be told that we've got to be hurt because they didn't take the time to tell us that they didn't want to be in our story, that they didn't want to take the time, that they don't love us anymore, or they don't like us anymore, or we're not in the clique anymore. Let them go. Surrender them. It's for your highest and greatest good and your liberation. Forgive it and let it go. I don't know why the divine wanted me to say that, but take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. It's about the story.
And if you guys need help, you can reach out. Reach out to your community, reach out to your practitioners, reach out to anybody that could really bring some assistance for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you guys a little bit of assistance that you can access. And, you know, I do this thing where I decide to put some passion and love and dedication into, you know, providing these type of educations on my YouTube channel for free. So I'm just going to show you guys here just a little bit of what you can access for free on my YouTube that can help you with in-depth descriptions and whiteboard visuals, as well as other graphics to help present and give you teachings along with visual aid. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you hit playlist, you can then click on Light Body Awareness 101. And this series right here is an educational series where I go in depth to help explore and explain the multidimensional layers of the human being. With that being said, that is the physical body, mental body, energy body, and mental body. And I begin this series with the light body or the energy body. And we start to begin with traveling and going in depth into the blueprint, as well as what the functioning is of the light body, which is also where our chakras reside, as well as our energy meridian points and our energy cords. So then I take us into the chakras, and I have a 2-part series on the chakras going fully in depth. And then I have energy cords, talking about energy cords and how energy cords are created, as well as what type of effect they can have on us and how to clear energy cords. So just to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek and a preview into what this is like, I'll go ahead and show a little bit of an episode. And depending upon the vibration level of where they're cross-secting, that is how it translates into that specific chakra. We only get so much of it every day. Cause many imbalances in the stomach area, right below the sternum. I don't have yellow, so I'll be using this bright green as yellow. And it takes us to the yellow energy center, the solar plexus. Now, the solar plexus, yellow just like the sun, represents something like our own personal inner sun. With that being said, this is the main center for being able to access self-esteem, as well as our self-image. So the more activated your solar plexus is, the more you have high self-esteem, and you also are able to see yourself with a beautiful, positive, and uplifting image of who you are in this human life. Now, don't get me wrong, image is not everything. Well, as human beings, we do, to some level and degree, each and every one of us, identify with our image. And if we don't identify with it, then there are plenty of those outside of us in this world that do identify with it. Now, this is also going to be your ability to step into confidence in your own abilities, confidence in you living your life and being successful, confidence in being able to finish what you start, as well as just having confidence in just being here, knowing that you are gifted this life and you are absolutely valid in any expression, any choice you make, because you were birthed here from the Creator. This is the type of energy you access when your solar plexus is balanced. And then lastly, this is going to be our main center for action / will, or willpower. So yeah, that right there is just a little bit of one of my teachings in that series, Light Body Awareness 101 on my YouTube channel. And you guys can watch that in full on the YouTube channel anytime. And you can go through the whole series from the beginning until the latest if you would like, or you can just choose one randomly, whichever one you feel resonant with. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that I love to pass on and help us come into remembrance of, is just really coming into tune with the layers and the aspects of our multidimensional human being and a standpoint of a higher perspective, or as the observer. And then through that perspective, you're really analyzing and you're observing the components, the aspects that you put together your own self and constructed to make up this human being design that you're experiencing through right now. And through that basically comes a studying of self, as they say, or as we said earlier, know thyself. And when they say know thyself, they say back in ancient times, if you really want to learn the universe, or you want to know the God or the Creator, then you can just really study your own self. Study your thoughts, study your patterns, your behaviors, study your mind, study your emotions, study your physical body, study all these different components in the moment of experience. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I triggered right now? Or why do I feel so much love when I connect with this person? Or why do I feel like I can't stop smiling when I hang out with this person? Like, analyze those things, and you really know what God is. You really know what the all is, because it's right there in every moment.
Every moment. And believe it or not, this is the newest, one of two of the newest things that the Divine has started with me. Star meditations with Sandra. It's right now I call it Star Meditations with Sandra, a light language meditation. It's going to be one-on-one. All right. I'm going to be doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My hours are being formulated right now, and it's going so that you can go inward one-on-one. It's nice to do it in a group. It really is. It's nice to do it, but sometimes you want to single out certain chakras. I'll be working with a lot of people are hung up in their root chakra. They wonder why. It's about going inward. It's not just about meditation, not the woo-woo. And the Divine has told me, he says, you do that really well. You allow me in. You allow me to flow. So it's time to allow the Divine to flow one-on-one. But it's about you. I'm just a vessel that opens you up to that opens you up to be allow yourself to be connected with the law of one, the whole, the law of one that flows through me, and the law of one that flows through you. It's about you becoming in alignment. It's about your root chakra, and then there's your heart chakra. which has been mentioned a lot in part 1 and part 2 of what we've been doing today. If you skip stairs, you're going to have to come back and redo the stairs.
Yeah.
I have a friend a long time ago, about 20 years ago. She's not a friend now. She's just an acquaintance, who liked, every time she wanted a car, she would tell me, oh, I'm not going to do, like, she would look at me and go, oh, you're doing a 3-year car plan. And I would get a car easily and effortlessly with my 3-year car plan. Every time 3 years was up, I go trade my car in and I upgrade, because I was climbing my stairs and I was using, I didn't know back then, I was using my intention and my power. But she would go and she would skip stairs and try to go get the best new car, and get these deals that wasn't for the highest and greatest good of herself or for the highest and greatest good of her situations or circumstances. And the car would always be retrieved, we'll say. And then she'd have to go back to square one. She would talk about me, about the type of car. Oh, you've got a Hyundai. Oh, you've got a Toyota. Oh, you got, but she wanted the next best thing, but she started skipping many stairs. And then she had to come back to one and climb the stairs again. And she said, well, I guess I gotta do it your way, which, she kind of like poo-pooed. But by then I had got to the place where the car I wanted a Carmine red Z28 1979. I had that by the time I was my late 20s. Every car I wanted, I've always had. Now, for me, skipping stairs was okay. It wasn't okay for me, because I didn't know that I was in alignment and energy. But I knew something. I didn't like the fact that I might have to fall back down those stairs and start all over again. And she asked me, later on, well, why wouldn't you do it my way? And I told her I didn't like having to restart all the time. Now, you can do that because that's a story. If that's the story you want, you certainly can do that. But when you get tired of doing that, always going back to one, instead of advancing, then you'll have an embodying question that you need to ask you, what do I need to do next? And sometimes it's about asking a question, and the hardest thing for a Gemini to do is be quiet and listen. But I had to listen. And sometimes it came in listening to Marcus suggest things about, learning about the mechanics of things and not the AI, but, how to work the YouTube and everything, instead of going, oh, I'll just give up on it. I can't do this. It's like, I'll stick with the Instagram, which before I had YouTube, I had, what do you call that? TikTok. I have Spotify. I have iTunes. I have Facebook. All viable, all ready to take off. And because it was like, oh shit, I've got to work on all three, multitasking, all, what was that? 5 of them was shit. I'm out my league. Well, the universe is going, wait, shit, you're out your league then. Let it be so, Sandra. But there's always, and I ask that embodying question, what now? And the divine will say, here's what now. Here comes Marcus. Hey, I can help you with your YouTube. Hey, do you want to add Facebook on it? And there's another gentleman. Whenever I need new what do you call it? Portraits of myself. He will see me in the dimension of who I am, and he will send me stuff. He'll just send it. He says, Divine says you're ready for more. And when I look at it and be quiet and look at this intention, I go, okay, you know what that is? That's the law of one. We're all connected. Know thyself is to know that you are connected. You are not alone in all of what you're doing. You're not separate. We've been taught that we're separate. For those of us who came from churchy backgrounds, we've been taught that God is outside of us. When we came from, some of us come from other backgrounds that don't believe in anything. We're just here by accident. We're born, we live, we grow old, and we die in that timeline. That's it. So once you awaken to that there's more, when you're ready, deep dive within to yourself. And then listen.
Deep dive inside yourself.
Deep dive. Take that moment. It's okay. And I remember Michael Bernard Beckwith once said, this is the thing that I remember the most. He said, break down that word. Are you ready? Mistake. MIS-TAKE. It's a mistake. It's something that happened in your past already. You cannot change the past. Yet it does vibrate, but you can't go back there and change it. You have to review it and then bring yourself forward back into your now moment and create it. Create it. Make it new, because your now moment is new. Don't judge yourself about mistakes. The divine isn't judging you. The wholeness of all that is and is not judging you. It's not waiting for you to die so it can judge you. It's moving through, in, and with you as you. Take what resonates, what doesn't. You don't have to believe.
See? That right there. Man, we're walking around this world inside of our heads, in our own minds. So you're punishing ourselves, literally. Telling ourselves that, we are this and we are that because of our experience and the things that we did and we went through. And then we're pretty much going ahead and saying that the creator or God is punishing me and I'm this sinner and basically the bottom scum of the whole earth and not even worthy of just being in grace and love unconditionally. And I just want to give a little message of love to everybody out there, yes, especially regarding mental health in this world. And I just want to give you guys the reminder that it's okay to give yourself gentleness, give yourself ease, and to allow yourself to remember that we're meant to go through the contrast, the ups and downs. We're meant to have these mistakes because these mistakes are what gives us wisdom. It is what gives us a purpose of being human and even having these vessels. It's all here for a reason. And there is not anything that is not of divinity or of God or of source. And just a reminder as well, just like in the beginning, that, the things that you really illustrate as your story in your mind, it's going to cast, and it's going to be a spell that you will experience, whether it's a positive or of negative polarity. And if you want to divide things up, you want to separate things and, create different characters of the polarity, such as a devil and a god, then just remember, that's what you're illustrating to experience in this existence. And through that, even if you do that and you decide to cast that experience for yourself, just know that it's absolutely okay, and it's okay to do that. And that through that, you still have grace, you still have unconditional love, and you still have eternal opportunity to get through that experience and continue to experience whatever else it is that you illustrate. So just remember the message of grace, giving yourself love, starting with yourself, and then remembering to give that to others as you continue to do that for your own self, so you can remember and feel what it's like to be in that grace and be in that unconditional love. And that's really what I got for you guys as we get close to closing out here.
As we get ever closer, like moments, minutes, because IG just shut down. So, hey, we've done an hour on this, but take what resonates. I know that everybody knows Soul Awakening with Sandra. That's what I say. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Spend time on that energy of what resonates, because that's what's going to grow you. That's what's going to expand you. That's what's going to shift you. And that's what's going to evolve you. Because that's what we came here to do. Earth consciousness chose to come here and do what she does in form. Here's a little story. Earth consciousness said to the divine, the all that is, I know who I am in formless. I want to do it with a form body. I want to shift and evolve. I want to feel it, see it, be it. The divine said, okay, I'll play with you. Just like you would play with your children outside in the play yard. The divine said, okay, let's make you a body. Sit down with the consciousness of IT and let's make you a form body. After that form body was created, Earth consciousness said, well, I want to invite all my friends to play. And consciousness said, send out the invitation. So here we are. Right now. Thousands upon thousands and upon thousands and upon thousands of years later, after all of that. And the divine says thousands are eons to them and beyond that. And here we are playing on Earth Consciousness's body. She said we could come and play on her body. She said, come play with me. She didn't say, come work with me. She said, come play with me. She said, my backyard is big enough. She said, all of you don't have to take form body. And a lot of them said, well, I'm consciousness. I'm going to be somebody's situation and somebody's circumstance. I'm going to be somebody, what they believe in. You want to believe in the devil? There's a consciousness that believes that for you and is being that for you and being it as you graphically give it to them. Some of them said, I want to come and be the angels. Every time you get a card pull, they're being the angel and angel of light. They're being the aspect of your oracle cards. It's beingness, becoming based on what you think. based on how you think it, based on what you're writing about it. Every person that has ever written a book and has a channel Lori Ladd, she said when she was on vacation standing on a pyramid, she wasn't thinking about writing a book. The divine came to her and said, may we channel through you, and it's going to be a book. And Lori Ladd said yes. She had the option to say no, but she said yes. Hence the divine design. You compare the divine design by the three waves of volunteers from Diane Cannon. The divine design goes into in-depth detail of what the earth was going through, what earth consciousness was going through. Dolores Cannon's book was giving you a overlay of what was going on. Wisdom and understanding. The divine is constantly talking to us, giving us information, asking us to grow, expand, shift. Here we are with these consciousness, a brain. That's our CPU is the brain, and our mind is in every cell of our body. Life is constantly recreating itself for us so that we can speak to it and tell it what we want, how we want it, when we want it, and when we want to opt out. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Grow, shift, shimmer, expand, and evolve. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whew.
Beautiful, beautiful. What an episode. Wow.
Beautiful. And guess what? We'll be back Sunday, 3:33 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More of Hatnan, more of Ra, more of the divine. Thank you for joining. 10845.
So I was actually going to tell you, Sunday, I won't be at a festival.
Oh.
So.
That's okay. We can.
Next Wednesday.
Unless he decides that he wants to come on very early.
Maybe.
On a Monday morning. I'm usually up about 3 a.m.
Oh, a Monday?
Standard Time. So, hey, if you want to do it on a Monday, early that morning.
I can do Monday, for sure.
You know. So, hey. That will be a special, I can't even talk, a special episode just for you.
So do you want to do it at, do you want to do it in the evening time? Can you do it in the evening time? Like we would do on Sunday?
Monday, I can do it in the evening. Oh, how about, can we do it like maybe about 7:30 my time? What time would that be for you? 7:30 will be 10?
10:30?
10:30? Will that be too late for you?
I could. The east side wouldn't be getting very much. That wouldn't be a great time for the east.
Oh, okay. So then we can do it Monday 3:33 my time, 6:33 your time. And then I'll push up my oracle and light language reading. I'll just push it forward.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it in the morning.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So there it is. We'll see you guys on Monday then at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time, 6:33 p.m. Eastern time. Episode 8, Sending
Yeah.
Beyond Limitations.
So guess what? That means that you get us Monday, Wednesday, and a Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. All righty. Be blessed, everyone.
Everybody, wholeness and balanced love. Have a blessed and beautiful day.
Blessed and beautiful day. Be the creators that you are.
Ashe.
Ashe. Bye-bye.